Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to fourth quarter. We are back once again to give everybody straight up sports news. You can, from our perspectives, the fans' perspectives, the one who watches the game, the ones who love the game as much as the athletes, and well, not as much as the athletes. Athletes love it more, but we love the game too. Sports unites everybody. It was just great to talk about. Now you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and we're live here every week on YouTube, man. So what's going on, Craig? What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Just getting ready for NBA season, college basketball, especially.
Yes.
So you know, just ready for something else to go along aside football. I know hockey starts tonight.
Yep.
So
That's right.
Kind of trying to get into hockey a little bit. My team is Carolina, so I'm trying to ride a little bit
Y'all
more.
were doing good. Y'all were doing good last year. Y'all been in the playoffs for the past couple of years. Weren't y'all in the Stanley Cup Finals? On my
They
trip?
won the finals in 2006, I believe. And
Okay.
they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last season, but
Okay.
I think they got swept by Florida.
But
Florida
Florida
was
ended up winning it, right?
Nah, they lost to Vegas, but they were the eighth seed and they ended up beating the best team in the league record wise anyway in Boston first round. They upset them. Then they made it all the way to the finals, but they just lost in the Stanley Cup Finals to Vegas. Who I mean they only been in existence for like what 4 years, something
Vegas
like that.
been 4 years, and they were in the finals against the Capitals, I think.
Yeah, their first season, and then they ended up winning it this year. So as an expansion team, to go from that to what they ended up doing in like 4 years, and it's impressive.
I mean, and isn't um the what you call it, WNBA team is good too.
Yeah, they're I think they
They
played
won last year,
they
and they're in
played
the
them up.
finals again.
They got a stacked team. Same
I
thing with
think they're gonna win again.
they got a stacked team. New York has a stacked team. I know there was a big controversy about um, super
Yeah,
teams in WNBA between those two teams, and they ended up being in the finals. So I mean, they got both teams got a lot of really good players. So
both teams got a lot of good players because let me see if it's. I'm about to look at their rosters. They got some tough players. I know that. Here we go. So the Aces they have uh Alicia Clark. I know is good. Kelsey Plum is bomb. Candace Parker. Asia Wilson is like that. Chelsea Gray. They got like they got a lot. They got a lot. And they won it last year, so this is going to be cool. And then the Liberty, because I know the Liberty got Sabrina. They got the WNBA MVP in Breonna Stewart. Yeah, they got this is good. This is some good this is great, man. So hopefully it'll be a good shout out to the WNBA, man. Shout out to them, man. So anyway, talking about the NBA season has not begun, but it begins October 24th. And I'm not gonna lie to you, um, I'm pretty excited about it. This I was listening to Gilbert Arenas podcast, and Brandon Jennings was like, "This might be." I mean, the NBA teams are they're pretty stacked. Like it's pretty even. There's no really like super teams. It's two stars on a lot of teams. So we gonna see who's the best of the best this year. We're gonna see. I'm excited. I'm excited. Drew Holiday is in Boston. Dame is in Milwaukee. It's gonna be. I mean, I can't wait. I cannot wait. And I'm a Lakers fan. We loaded up. We got Christian Wood. LeBron's back and looking healthy. AD's back and looking healthy. I think Austin Reeves took a big step, so I can't wait from LA. You know what I'm saying. You already know who I think winning it, baby. We always in the running, man. We always in the running.
Not always.
We got to the Western Conference Finals last year. We got
Not
swept,
always.
but we were there. We were there. We're gonna be in a. We're gonna always be there at the end of the season. All right, so let's list the top 10 NBA teams in the Eastern and Western Conference. So let's go Eastern Conference first.
You want me to go first?
Who do you have? Yeah, who do you have? Who's your top 10?
10. I got the Magic.
Okay.
I think they're up and coming.
Ooh.
I think they'll be there eventually.
Okay.
9. I got the Bulls.
Okay.
They still have a solid team. 8. I got the Nets. I think the Nets can at least get the 8th seed in the East. They have enough talent. I think the 7. I got the Hawks. They have experience with Trey Young and Murray. So Collins. 6. I got the Heat. Made it to the finals last year. I don't know how that dynamic's gonna be around that team because I know they were trying to get Dame. Well, but you know how that fell apart. 5. I got the. Right now, I got the Knicks at 5, but I might change this. Depends on if
you might switch them.
Well, it depends on what happens with Harden if he gets traded or whatever. But right now, as things are right now, I got the Knicks at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a really solid team.
Mm-hmm.
7 or 4. I got the Sixers.
Okay.
It's going to be a tough matchup in the first round playing the Knicks, but you know if Harden is there, same thing with Maxey and Embiid. I think they can give Nick some problems, but that'll be a really good. Plus, it's close by. 3, I got the Cavs. I think the Cavs will make.
Okay, then I was about to say, yo, I was like, gotta put them up there.
2, I got the Bucs. Even though I know they got Dame, I don't really think they're gonna be caring too much about the regular season.
Yeah,
they just went to the playoffs. I think when they get to the playoffs, they'll be fine. And 1, I got the Celtics.
All right, cool, man. I definitely agree with you, but I think the Bucs figure it out pretty fast. I think the Bucs are number 1 for me, and then I have Boston number 2, and I think they're going to be flip flopping. But those are 2 of the best teams in the East. We all know that. 3, I got 76ers, and then 4, I got Cleveland. Those could be switched too. I don't know what's going to happen with Harden. I don't know. We talked about him last week. It's just going to be very interesting on where he goes and what he wants. 5, I got the Knicks. I'm sorry, Knicks, y'all are good. But you're not superstar Knicks like Patrick Ewing. But y'all are good. They're a good team. They're a good team. The 6th spot, I kind of agree with you. I got the Heat. That could flip-flop, but the Heat are a good playoff team, but I don't think they're gonna go far this year. I think Drew Holiday and Dame made that much of a difference. 8, I got the Hawks. I think the Hawks. Hold on. Did I say 6? 6 is Miami. Yeah, 7. I'm sorry. 7, I got the Hawks. I think the Hawks are going to be playing really well. I like Trey Young. They got experience. And I agree with you on the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're 8. I think your man's back and healthy. Yeah, your man is back and healthy.
I'm not even relying on him to do anything. So.
But I got them. I think they have a good team. They're deep. They got good rotational players, good star players. Like they don't have any superstars, but I think they have a great team that's going to gel well. And it's the East, so I think they'll be 8th. 9th, I think I'm gonna go Chicago. They're like good, but not good, like mediocre. I thought they would be a lot better, right? When they put the team together, I thought it was gonna be a lot better, but it hasn't been. And I don't know if people get traded this year. We might blow it up. And 10, I got Washington Wizards, man. I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be all right, man. I think they're gonna be all right. I do like Orlando, but I like Washington Wizards. I like yeah, I like their guard play. I like Kuzma. I think they're gonna be all right, man. All right, the West. Who do you have in the West?
At 10, I have a lot of people have this team higher, but I don't believe it so far. I got Dallas. I'm just not convinced about that whole backcourt. They were horrible last year. I agree that they were trying to fill each other out and everything like that, and I step on each other's toes, but
Yeah.
I'm just not convinced. I got them at 10. 9, I got New Orleans. I know this is supposed to be everybody healthy, but I'm just going to bank on Zion not being healthy, man. But I can't – he just can't stay healthy. I don't know what it is. I saw on the top ESPN Top 100 came out today.
Yeah, I'm looking.
And they had Zion at 57. Yeah. There's no way Zion should be 57, but it is what it is. Yeah,
he came on Gilbert Arenas' podcast himself and said that he's working more on like stretching and like doing more stretches and flexing so he can stay healthy. So hopefully,
yeah, he needs to lose weight. To get because he's I don't know. He's just he does a lot of athletic things, and he's not like Shaq where he just sits in the post. He does other. He shoots on the wing sometimes. He can go down. So he just does too much.
Yeah,
to be that. 8, I got Oklahoma City.
Different. Shaq was a different monster too.
Oklahoma City at 8. I think I'm not a big Chet Holmgren fan. Never been, but I think he can make a difference for that team. He's going to be another scorer to go along with Gillis.
Yeah,
and Giddey. Not Giddey. Yeah, it's Giddey.
Yeah, Giddey.
Mm-hmm. So I think they have
I
think they have a solid squad down there that can make a run to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Clippers next. I'm still not convinced about the Clippers now. If they get James Harden, that'll be
so weird.
I will have to move them up. But until that happens, I got them at what's that, 7. I'm just still trying to wait for. I know it's going to same thing with the Pelicans. I think there's going to be injuries for that team. Yeah. 6, I got the Grizzlies. I think they're going to take a step back just because of they might come out the gate a little bit slow, but eventually when Ja comes back after the 25-game suspension, they'll be all right. But they have 2 veteran point guards in Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose. So
yeah,
they might not miss too much, but when Morant comes back, I think he can make a difference.
And they lost some key rotational players. Dylan Brooks, Tyus Jones.
Dylan Brooks, man, I'm sorry. He's trash.
But Tyus Jones was good rotation.
Yeah, but I mean, they got Marcus Smart and they got Derrick Rose. If they can just both stay healthy, especially Derrick Rose. Okay. 5, I got the Kings. I think they take a step back from last season. They had a phenomenal season last year, finishing 3rd. But I think they end up this season being 5. 4, I got the Lakers. I think they're going to take a few steps up to get to that 4 seed and get home court in the first round. They have a solid rotation. 3, I got the Warriors. I think the Warriors realize that their window's closing, so they have to go all out and try to at least get home court. The problem is the same thing with the Clippers and the Pelicans is injuries. And the Lakers too, injuries.
They're really small. Golden State is small.
They are small, but I mean, I think they got a solid rotation on the bench. If their bench players, Kuminga, Moody, Looney, they can step up and play like they need them to play. I think they'll be all right. 2, I got the Nuggets, defending champs. They lost a couple players in the offseason. I don't know how that's going to really fare for them, especially when it comes to the playoffs, because they only ran like a 7-8 man rotation last year. And 1, I got the Suns. I just think the Suns are going to I think they have enough players on that team. And a lot of people are not talking about how deep they are. Not deep, but they're better this year than they were last season in terms of depth.
They are. They've been adding a lot of players.
Yeah, I think they have enough pieces to finish 1.
Because they got some depth in the
They got in the trade. They got Nurkic from Portland.
Yep.
So that was a good acquisition.
Yep.
Even though they lost Ayton, but
and they had what's his name? Grayson Allen.
I'm not a fan of him, but he
I
can
don't
shoot.
like him, but he's a
Stretch the court a little bit.
Yeah.
Stretch the floor. So
Yeah,
I think
he's a decent player, though. I give him that. He's a good
they
NBA.
got some good solid pickups last year, and it was just Booker and Durant, and that's not going to be enough. So
yeah. All right, cool. I'm surprised. No Minnesota.
I had them in there, but the more I keep looking at, I took them out and added in the Pelicans.
Okay, because that's what I would probably do. So
I like Minnesota though, but the West to me is so deep. If everybody stays healthy, I don't know.
Pelicans deep. They're deep. All right, so first one, I'm a Lakers homer, but I'm not putting it up there. I'm fair. I got the Phoenix Suns number 1. I mean, Bradley Beal running point. I want to see how that works too. I'm gonna be just very interested about that dynamic. 2, I'm gonna see how it works. I want to see how it works. It's gonna be interesting, but I think they'll figure it out. I love KD. He's from up the street from where I grew up, but he better. If he doesn't win in Phoenix, man, I don't know.
I mean,
he's been in some good situations, man. I hope he wins.
He's been on some really super. He's been on some super teams.
Yeah,
all his life, his whole career, he's been on super teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Harden wasn't he wasn't the MVP Harden like he is now, but him, Harden, and
went to the finals.
Yeah, well, they had him, Harden, and Russ. Then he goes to Brooklyn, and it's him, Harden, and Kyrie. Now he's my fault. Before that, he went to Golden State. That's 73-19. Then Brooklyn.
That was a crazy team.
When has he not had another 2 other superstars or 2 other real big stars on his team?
Nah.
And I like Kevin Durant, but damn.
Then I got
people, include myself, talk about LeBron, but
yeah,
yo, I got to sit back and look at it.
Yeah, you do.
My bad, man.
Nah, you do. I love him, but it's like, come on, man. If you don't win in Phoenix, it's gonna be like, are you gonna leave and go somewhere else? I don't know.
You might end up in LA with the Lakers or something.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's looking like, right? Oh man. Then I have Denver Nuggets, of course, Jamal Murray, Jokic. They still got Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter's healthy. They just got a good team, man. I know they're gonna miss Bruce Brown, but I think they'll be all right. 3, I have the Lakers just because of size and depth. I think they added Christian Wood was big for them. They said AD's playing more of the 4, and they said he wants him to shoot more threes, which I agree. 4, I got Golden State. Steph, you're always in the mix, man. Steph, Draymond, and Clay, you're in the mix. I'm just a little worried about their size, and I want to see how Chris Paul fits with them. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Number 5, I'm gonna go Sacramento Kings. Man. I think they've proved something last year, and who knows if De'Aaron Fox hasn't hurt his finger, they might have beat Golden State. I don't, excuse me. It's very interesting to see how good they're gonna be. 6, I got the Clippers, and listen, man. If they get James Harden, what do you do with Westbrook? What do you do with him? Is he going to be in a Harden trade?
No.
Because he doesn't fit in Philly. And I like Russ, man. I like his game. He plays hard. He's a great leader and a great teammate. Number 7, I got Dallas. They're gonna be on the outside looking in. I don't know. I love the dynamic, but I have to see it work. I love it, but I have to see it work. I mean, they're kind of like Luka and Kyrie, kind of like the same player. Like, but Kyrie has shown he could play off ball because he played off ball with Harden, right? So we gotta see. 8, I got Memphis just because I think John Morant means a lot to them. I mean, he means a lot. And 25 games is that's no joke. That's a lot of games in the NBA. Number 9, I got the Pelicans. No, number 9, I got the Timberwolves. I like the Timberwolves. I think they can. No, scratch that. I got Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they'll be right in the playing game. They're going to scare some teams, but the West has so many superstars that are veterans. They're going to have to be able to crack it, and that's pretty difficult. And then I got Minnesota, and I really like Anthony Edwards, man. I really like him. I think he showed me a lot. I hope he makes the next step. I think he can make the next step to be the American superstar. You know what I'm saying? Because last time an American, well, you can say Joel Embiid's American, I guess. But the last American superstar to win the MVP was James Harden in 2018. So I think he can get there. Yeah, it's a long time, man. Giannis has won twice. Jokic has won twice, and Embiid one time. And if Dallas has the 5th seed or the 4th seed at the end of the year, Luka's probably going to get it. But we'll see, man. I'm excited for the NBA. I can't wait. I can't remember the NBA being this even besides Phoenix. Phoenix is the only one that's not like that has to me 3 superstars. I think they have right? Is that the only team?
Only team what?
That has like 3 superstars. Everybody else 2, right?
Probably, yeah. Seems like it.
Everybody else got 2.
Yeah. I don't think there's another like super team, I guess you want to call it, out there. Well, maybe. Well, could say the Clippers, but I don't know if Russ is considered a superstar anymore. I only think Paul George is maybe Paul George still is.
I would do Paul George and Kawhi.
Russ, maybe. He played like a superstar in the playoffs last year. I will give him that.
He did. I mean,
maybe if they get Harden, but excuse me, at the moment, I don't think so. I think it's just the Suns.
And it's got to be Harden's last stop, man. Because if he demands another trade, he's not going to in the NBA.
Yeah, he's getting to be diva-ish. Maybe the Celtics, if you really include one, if you include Drew, but I don't include Drew as a superstar.
I don't think
he might be though, but it's borderline.
And what man? The reason what's so crazy about that move. So Dame fits Giannis perfect. I ain't gonna lie. That pick and roll is gonna be crazy. But Drew can help out the Celtics because Brown and Tatum don't have to have the ball late in their hands, bringing it up the floor. They could give it to a true point guard. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think he's a better player than Marcus Smart. He's a point guard. He's going to be able to handle it. He's not going to cause turnovers at the end of the game for them. So all right, man. Now to the NFL. I know you did this last week, your top 5, but this week I want us to do what are your top 5 teams in the NFC and what are your top 5 teams in the AFC?
NFC, I'm going with the Cowboys at 5. I think that lost. I don't know what Michael Parsons is talking about. He said they were they beat themselves. They were a couple plays away or something to the effect like that. Nah, it's 42-10. Like that's not a couple plays away. That's not you beating yourself. That's the other team just beating you bad. Like if it was a one-score game, I could understand it. But then he got mad. He said Kittle made it personal with the shirt. Said F Dallas or whatever it is on it. I don't know why that would make it personal. The 42-10 didn't make it personal.
Yeah,
the beatdown.
I don't know if he knows his history, but that's been a long-standing feud for a long time.
Well, I mean, I guess for him, I don't know, but I mean, the score should have made it personal. The end score should have made it personal. The 3 interceptions should have made it. Like, come on, man, that's kind of crazy. But if that's what it gets to hype you up, then whatever. I got Seattle at 4. They had a bye week, coming up a bye week, but I think they've been playing pretty well. 3 in a row after that loss early in the season to the Rams, which it was first game of the season, so and then it's a divisional rival. 3 got the Lions. The Lions are playing really well. Their defense surprisingly is playing a lot better than I thought they was going to play. They need to find a better way to get Gibbs more involved. They easily beat the Panthers last week without their top wide receiver. They didn't have Gibbs as well. They just got Jameson Williams into the lineup after his 4-game suspension, so they're going to be much improved. The Eagles, I got it 2. They're undefeated still. They have a solid team, more than a solid team. They're a really good team. Their defense still on the fence about a little bit. They're not as good as I thought they were going to be, but they stepped up last week against the Rams and made some big plays down the stretch. And I got the 49ers. I mean, they're getting every week it seems like they're scoring 30 points a game. They have a really, really good team. I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do, just because, at least in the regular season, because they have they're so good on offense and they're so good on defense. Brock Purdy he just doesn't try to do too much. He's very accurate with the football. He's making plays against that Cowboys defense. I mean, Cowboys were a top defense last week. He just went out there and just was throwing the ball. He's just accurate.
Yeah.
So, I'm going on the 49ers one, yeah.
All right. My top 5 NFC teams, and I'm going to go. Obviously, number 1, I have the 49ers. And like you said, they're a great team, man. Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, man. He fits exactly what they want to do. That's exactly what they want to do. He doesn't make mistakes. And listen, this is a crazy thing. I was watching First Things First, and they said that the last 8 teams, a lot of teams that won the Super Bowl, the quarterback was on a rookie deal. The only team that won without the quarterback on a rookie deal or went to a Super Bowl was Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, second time around.
About Tom
Brady. That's it. But then you got Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. That's just like saying LeBron and Kobe. Like they're just in a different stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just different. But so the 49ers Super Bowl window is here. Because this is Purdy's second year? So they got a couple of years. Well, they got a chance to win a couple of years. Number 2, I got the Eagles. Their defense has surprised me. I think Jalen Hurts, I think he can play a little bit better. I think he has a little bit too many interceptions for me, but I think he's, I think he's pretty good. Their defense is, at least they have a good offense to score, to catch up, because their defense, they're gonna have to score a lot of points with that defense. 3, I got Detroit Lions, man. Just like you, I got Detroit. I think, man, Detroit. I thought they were going to be good. I thought they were going to go to the playoffs and win the division, but they look like they're about to have the 3rd seed because they're playing good, man. Their defense is better than advertised, and they're on a roll, man. That's good coaching. Dan Campbell's good coaching, man. Number 4, I'm gonna go Cowboys. They played San Francisco. They got their butts whipped, so it happens. Dak can't throw interceptions like that. He always does. And the crazy thing is with Dak Prescott is this is a contract year, and no quarterback after the 8th season has won a Super Bowl. So we're gonna see, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. They got a lot of work they have to do. And at 5, I got Seattle. But I had them being 3rd seed in the NFC and predicted them. I think they surprised everybody last year, and this year they're not surprising anybody. They have one of the they're a great team. They're just Pete. Which questions? I heard some stuff about Russell Wilson that kind of threw me off. What Marshawn Lynch said, but I like it. Just threw me off. So he was kind of saying Russell Wilson was coddled and not held accountable. So, look who's joining us. Mo, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man? So,
hey, we got the triple screen. We got the new screen today.
Yeah, man. I like
the side by side. I was like,
I like to see it like First Take or something.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I like this. I like this. You know what I'm saying? Something I'm trying out new. I figured. So Mo, we were going on what's your top 5 teams in the NFC?
Yeah, I wrote it down. Just come on here prepared. Number 1, I'm going with San Fran. I love what they've done. No disrespect to Philly, but I feel like they've been the more dominant team. Number 2, I'm gonna go Philly. Number 3, I'm gonna go Detroit. I think they're on the rise. I like what they're doing. Number 4, I'm gonna go New Orleans. And number 5, I'm gonna go Dallas. I just think right now I took it as if it's like a playoff format. I took it almost as if it's a playoff format. I know we said top 5, but I kind of took it as if a playoff format right now. After the division leaders, after that, I don't see no team right now that can beat Dallas outside the division leaders. I don't in a one-on-one scenario. I don't think neutral site or even home, whatever. I don't think with the pressure line. I don't think Seattle could beat Dallas. I don't think Minnesota could beat Dallas right now. I don't think we could beat Dallas. It just in a one-on-one matchup, I just don't see nobody outside those top 4 in the NFC beating Dallas right now.
Okay. All right, Mo. So we're gonna start off with you. What's your top 5 teams in the AFC?
I went back and forth for this one, but right now, I'm gonna go number 1. I'm still gonna go Kansas City. I know they got receiver problems. Defense been playing better. I truly think that wide receiver issue needs to be fixed quickly. I don't know if they can trade for somebody. I just think this year it can get exposed more than any other year. I know Patrick Mahomes, I know Kelsey, but I think in a one-on-one scenario, I think this year more than any other year, how the AFC teams can get hot in the talent level, I think not having that receiver, that go-to receiver can get kind of tricky, can get dicey. But right now, I'll put him at number 1. Even though Buffalo beat Miami, I'm going to go Miami at number 2. I just think their offense, high octane. I just think everybody has a bad game. Everybody has something, things go wrong. But I'm going to go Miami at 2. But I'm going to go Buffalo at 3. I'm going to go Jacksonville at 4. I kind of still kept it at – I technically kept it at division leaders, but the reason I didn't have the NFC North in my top 5 is just because of the inconsistency of the teams. So I kind of did – at 5, I did Pitt, Baltimore / Cincinnati. Yeah, like that NFC North. Whoever will get their act together, but I just couldn't put them in the top 4. It's like look at Pittsburgh right now with all the struggles. They're leading the NFC North. They got tiebreakers. They're leading the NFC North right now.
Yeah, because
no matter what you think about them, how you feel about them, they're leading the division right now. Yeah, so
they beat the Ravens. Well, wait a
They beat
minute.
the Browns, right? They beat the Ravens. They beat the Browns.
And the Browns, though.
Yeah, I think they beat all three, didn't they?
They didn't beat the Steelers.
Did they beat Cincinnati? I don't know if they beat Cincinnati.
Nah.
They did beat Cincinnati.
They did?
Ravens beat them, yeah.
Ravens
Yeah,
beat
but Pittsburgh
Cincinnati and the
didn't beat them, though.
Browns.
Pittsburgh didn't play them yet.
I thought you talking about the Ravens.
Yeah, Pittsburgh didn't play them
Ravens
yet,
had
right?
2 divisional wins. They not leading?
Pittsburgh got the tiebreaker now because
Pittsburgh just got the tiebreaker.
Pittsburgh beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh beat Cleveland, and then they beat Baltimore, so they got the tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's what it. That's why. All right, cool. Craig, what's your top 5 AFC?
5, I got the Ravens. I'm still not convinced that like the Steelers or the Colts or I don't even know who else, like the Chargers right now are better than the Ravens. I think if they just had a lot of drops in that game. If they didn't drop all those passes, touchdowns, or just regular passes that could have gave
crazy drops, bro.
And then Lamar at the end of the game with the interception, or close to the end of the game with the interception. Now you talk about a team that beat themselves. They beat themselves, but they should have got that win. 4, I got the Jaguars. Big win over the Bills, even though it was in London, but it still was a big win. Kind of seemed like they've started to turn it around a little bit and look like the team that was supposed to win that division. 3, I got the Bills. I'm still sticking with the Bills, even though they just lost to the Jaguars, and I got them above the Jaguars because it's close, but I got them above, even though they just lost to them. You would think that would put the Jaguars above the Bills, but I think the Bills have been more consistent. And they got some bigger wins. So I got the Bills there. And 2, I got the Dolphins. Even though they lost to the Bills, that was the only loss. And, every team, for the most part, has a bad game every now and then. And that was their bad game. They got it out of the system. So now they can try to move on and focus on the upcoming teams. They just destroyed the Giants. They're going to obliterate the Panthers this week. So I got them there, and then I got the Chiefs at 1. The Chiefs defense is playing better than I thought. Kind of like the Lions. Chiefs defense is playing better than I thought. Better than the offense. The Chiefs still have, like Mo said, inconsistencies at wide receiver. They better hope Kelsey doesn't get hurt. He got hurt in the last game, came back, fortunately. But they need to figure out something with the wide receivers. I don't know if they need to trade for somebody. I don't think there's really nobody out there as free agents in the free agency market as far as wide receivers go. So they might have to figure something out and try to trade for somebody to bring some new life into that group, because they traded for Tony last year and that hasn't worked out at all. So they got to do something.
Yeah. All right. So my first team I got is Kansas City. It's just a good team, man. Until Patrick Mahomes is probably gonna be like, he's like gonna be like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, where they're just gonna always have the best team in the NFL. He's just always gonna have one of the best teams in the NFL. That's just how it is. The second team, I do got Miami. Y'all right. I know they lost to Buffalo, but they look good, man. Mike McDaniel's a good coach. He's a good coach, man. And I love it. Number 3 is very interesting. I'm gonna have to go Buffalo. I think that loss to Jacksonville, they look bad. I have them over Jacksonville because they're gonna win a lot of games. They always do. That's just who the Buffalo Bills are. Number 4, I got the Ravens. I know they lost to Pittsburgh. They had a lot of drops. But I think at the end of the day, I think they're going to be either winning the division or vying for the 5th seed in the playoffs. I think they're really good. I don't know what's going on with drops, but Zay Flowers, it was crazy. It was like, come on, guys. Come on, man. And then I got Jacksonville Jaguars, another team that, I think they're right now they're in the 5th spot, but Cincinnati's knocking on their door. The Chargers are knocking at the door, but I got to see more from them. Joe Burrow says he's healthy. We'll see. So yeah, that's my top 5 AFC teams. before we get to is it panic time or not? Let's do more. Mo, what's your top 4 college football ranking?
All right. We got Georgia. I got Georgia number 1. We finally kind of saw this year. We kind of saw a vintage Georgia performance. They ran through Kentucky, who's a pretty good football team, who's going to be a 9-10 win football team. Michigan number 2. I understand the weak schedule, but they just been running through people. It's just been ridiculous how dominant they've been. I understand you got to play what's on your schedule. I'm going to say Ohio State number 3 right now. Of course, if Texas at 1, I would definitely put Texas probably at number 2. If they beat Oklahoma, I was going to move them up to number 2. And I probably was going to move Michigan to number 4 and put Ohio State number 3. But with Texas losing, I'm going to put Michigan 2, Ohio State 3. I'm going to go a slash here. I'm going to go Florida State / Oklahoma. Outside of Texas's win against Alabama, with Oklahoma beating Texas, it kind of doubles up that notion. So I kind of put a slash because Florida State's still winning. But we got 3 weeks till the first ranking of the college football playoff. It's going to be, matter of fact, it's going to be Halloween night, October 31st. Before that, I wrote down some matchups that are going to be key before we get to the rankings. You got this weekend, you got Oregon versus Washington. This weekend, you got USC versus Notre Dame. October 21st, you got Penn State versus Ohio State, and you got Florida State versus Duke. And then you got Alabama versus Tennessee. Yeah, I think these are some key games that's definitely going to affect the rankings going forward for top 4. But I definitely like these top 4. I'm not saying it's going to stay this way by the time we get to the end, but it's definitely this way right now. I can see some because, of course, I think Michigan and Ohio State definitely might bump each other out based on how other teams do.
Okay. All right. So, yes, Craig, we talked about this earlier. The Patriots are having a bad season. This question came up. Is it Bill Belichick? Would you fire Bill Belichick or get rid of Mac Jones? Or both?
Me?
Yeah.
I probably would say neither right now. I don't think Mac Jones is that. I just think I've said it last week, and I've been saying it pretty much all seasons. I think Mac Jones has been dealt a horrible hand. Yeah. I think he has no wide receiver help. The running back is fine.
Yeah.
But the wide receivers is just not there. They just traded for a cornerback, which I can understand because they just lost their top draft pick this season for the rest of the season. But they also should have traded for a wide receiver. I just don't know what's going on there with the personnel moves. Stephen A. Smith, I think, said that out of the last 10 drafts, I should say.
Go ahead, say it.
It's been he's only drafted two Pro Bowlers. That's been a punt returner and a punter.
Yep.
Something like that. So I'm like, he hasn't made the best decisions, and I get it. And I think there's a time for you're not always grandfathered in. You don't always, like in college football, you might be like Bobby Bowden in Florida State, somebody like that, grandfathered in for the most part, gets to leave whenever he wants to. Coach K at Duke gets to leave whenever he wants to, stays there the whole time, stuff like that. But NFL and pro sports, I should say, sometimes you just don't get that opportunity to stay out the whole time, even though you might have won as much as you have in the past. I look at a guy like in the NBA, granted it's two different sports, but like Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich hasn't even been to the playoffs in the last 4 seasons.
Yep.
So I mean, you look at him, look at what he's done, and he hasn't even been out of the first round since 2017. So, but he's still there. His record is 120.
He got an extension. Didn't he get an extension?
I'm not sure.
I think he got an extension to be to move in the front office. He's gonna, when he's done coach like Pat Riley did.
His record is 121 and 186 in his last 4 seasons. That's pretty horrible. I mean, he's averaging probably around 30 wins a season. Now, granted, 2 of those seasons had less than 82 games because of COVID, but still, he has a different. I know it's a different circumstance, possibly, but I'm not sure, man. Like I want to see how the season plays out. See what he does at least in the off season. Just give him. I think he deserves one more shot. Just one more chance.
Yeah,
to figure it out in the off season. See if he can make some good personnel moves, good coaching moves. Bring in some talent around Mac Jones. If Mac Jones is still going to be there, I still would like for him to be there because, like I said, I don't think it's all his fault. I think the team has failed him. The ownership has failed him. The upper management has failed him.
it's
Belichick. It's unfortunate. I know it's Belichick.
Yeah.
That's why I want to say, like, I want to give him this will be what his after this season. This is his 4th season without Brady. I want to see what happens this season. I want one more chance. They're not going anywhere. That's fine.
Let's see what you do in the
I just want to see what happens. Yeah, see what happens with this offseason. Or at least have a meeting with him and see what he plans to do. Because if his plan is not what the owner's plan is, Kraft's plan is, then just talk to him and you might just go ahead and cut off. Just cut bait. Because I don't know what getting rid of him in the middle of this season does for the team.
Yeah.
I just think
you can do that.
At least give him that. Give him, even though the team's not going anywhere, give him that respect. Give him that. I think he's at least earned to finish out the rest of the season. He's earned that throughout his career. And just let him walk away with his, finishing out the season.
You know the crazy thing I heard about this. I like Mac Jones too. If he was in San Francisco, we would be having this conversation. But he's making some crazy choices, and some crazy plays. But I think Belichick's a good coach. I would keep him. I wouldn't fire him. And whatchamacallit was saying that if Belichick needs to step down as GM, and if he refuses to, then they're gonna have to part ways. I mean, he'll get another job. It's Belichick, but he has to have somebody in that GM role. He has to, and if he refuses to, so like Craig, if you're the Robert Kraft and he says no, I won't do it. They might have to part ways.
I mean, that's fine. You got to talk. That's what I'm saying. You have to talk with him in the offseason, see what the plan is, see what his plan is. If you guys are not just here, and you got to just go. You got to just say, okay, thank you for your time, whatever it is. You got to go in a different direction. Yeah,
because they have a crazy thing is they like this. They what's his name on the coaching staff? They really like him, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, Mo. What do you think about Belichick? And
if you, this is the rough part, and I'm gonna state this over the last maybe 5 to 7 years. This might be on part of how that moves the quarterback name. Oh my goodness, Trubisky. This might be on the same par as how Trubisky was done. Like you came into a situation with nothing, like nothing solid you really could bang on. Like, yeah, the Bears added something to it and then went to playoffs that one year. But it's like, if you really look at it, it's like, what has he been given? What has he been given from an offensive line standpoint, from a receiver standpoint, that's truly playoff worthy? That's like competitive worthy. You look at it this year, even the analysts have said it. Like, he's sitting there with almost a JV offensive line and no receiver who can get separation. How's he gonna win? I don't care if your arm is the best in the world, the or whatever it is. How are you gonna win when you're sitting there with? Well, how are you gonna win when you're sitting there with a quarterback? As a quarterback, how are you sitting there with a sorry offensive line and no receivers who can get separation? How can you ask this man to be productive?
Yeah.
So but in today's world, how business is, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not calling for better both of them to be gone.
Yeah.
But you gotta look at it. If you fire the coach, then unless you're gonna force the next coach hand, it's like he's gonna be like, well, that's not my man. I'm gonna go into it because right now they might be a top 5 pick. They're gonna be running for one of these quarterbacks. And do they not take a chance on one of these quarterbacks? Do they sit there with Jones and say they sit it with Jones and try to trade up to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Like, it's like, what do you do here? If you're in the top 5, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Do you sit there and wait, or do you say, you know what?
They're probably gonna draft a quarterback.
Right. This is a great quarterback class about to come out. These are some good quarterbacks. So it's like, why not? It's almost like I got to strike while the iron hot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I can see this is the thing. I can see one or two things happening. Either both gonna be gone, or I truly feel like Belichick might be there, and they might just trade Matt Jones and get what they can get, and they might start over, especially if they're top 5. If they end up with a top 5 pick, I can't see them not getting a quarterback. It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Craig, they really like Jared Mayo on the coaching staff. Robert Kraft really likes him. I think that they're thinking that he could be like a D'Amico Ryans. That's what I heard. They really like him. You know, he was a good player too. So he was gonna go young, which is very interesting. All right, guys. Is it time to press the panic button or nah? The Commanders. It's time to press the panic button. I told a lot of people this. I've came on this podcast and said it. I said I'm not a fan. I said 6-11, and we're on pace for that. We couldn't beat the Bears. The Bears hung 40 points on us. Where is this good defense at? Because we've been getting points scored on us crazy. And you talk about ownership set a fast start. Ron Rivera might be fired mid-season. He might be fired. I think
it's 140. I think it's 144 points given up in the last 4 games. I think I counted it. I added it up. It's like 144 in the last 4 games.
It's crazy. I don't understand how no, listen. I like Emmanuel Forbes, but he's getting a lesson learned on how to be a cornerback in the NFL. But I don't understand how we regress from last year to this year. So it's time to press the panic button. Yes, for sure. Alarm rings go off. Panic button. Get them out of here. All the teams, and by the way, guys, all the teams that I'm going to name, they're in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes now. Everybody, the team I named, that's panic, is in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. The New York Giants, what is going on? Don't you regret signing Daniel Jones to all that money? Everybody told you guys, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Get him on a franchise tag, see what you have. Sign Barkley. Get him on a franchise tag. That's crazy. And now they're 1-4. And guess what, guys? They're in a Caleb Williams sweepstakes. What are you going to do what are we going to do with the Giants? You can't draft a quarterback because you just paid Daniel Jones all that money. We just talked about them. The New England Patriots. Panic button time. Is Belichick a good coach, or is it Mac Jones, a McCorkle, as his real name is, who's kind of a dirty player, hitting people in the nuts and grabbing ankles and stuff, man? What's going on? You're a quarterback. You're a professional. No, you can't be a brat. You're a leader of men. Step up to the plate. He has more. I think he has more pick sixes than he has touchdowns. That's crazy.
You know what else is crazy? The team has scored 18 points in the last 3 weeks total.
New England, right?
Yeah, that's 6 points.
Yes. It's crazy. It is crazy. Like, I didn't think, like, entering in the season, I'm going to be honest, I thought the Patriots were going to be decent because they always are. They're around 8-9, 9-8. This does not look like that team, man. The Broncos. Is Sean Payton a really good coach? That GM is fired. They're firing the GM and they're trading Russell Wilson. They're in a Caleb Williams sweepstake because they're definitely drafting a quarterback next year.
I'm hearing they filling the calls for the 2 receivers too. I'm hearing they filling the calls right now for 2 receivers again for the third straight year.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that they just signed Russ. They just signed him. So if they trade him, he's on the books for $161 million guaranteed. If they cut him, they have to pay him out. What are they going to do? And who's going to trade for him? Who's going to trade for him? Who? Exactly. The Minnesota Vikings. I thought they were going to regress, but not like this. And I know that having winning 11 games by 1 or more points was going to happen, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I thought they were going to be decent, but they're terrible, man. And Kirk Cousins is playing good. He's playing really good, but they're turning the ball over. Their defense sucks. They're in a quarterback sweepstakes because they're going to let Kirk Cousins walk. You might as well. I would. They're in a Caleb Williams sweepstakes. It's terribleness, man. And that's it, man. That's all I have got for you guys. And now it's time to do Craig's segment. Craig's top 5.
This week, since Jonathan Taylor signed his contract a few days ago.
Yeah.
3 years, $42 million, $26.5 million guaranteed. I looked at next year's
He got his money.
I looked at next year's free agent group, see who was out there, and see who I would like to have, or see who I think should get as far as the top 5 that I think should get signed next season. So like a decent long-term deal. Maybe not like $42 million, but I think they could get signed for something substantial.
Okay.
So I kind of base it a little bit off of this season and also what they've done in the past. So my number 5 is probably going to surprise some people, and that's fine. I went with DeAndre Swift. Because I think he's having a really solid season. Yeah. Better than solid, actually, especially how he's been the last 2 seasons in Detroit. Last season in Detroit, he had 542 total yards or 42 rushing yards. This year, he already has 434. So he's on pace to easily break that as long as he stays healthy. And that was the key with Swift, just staying healthy. And he wasn't healthy. He's still on his rookie deal, 4 years, $8.5 million. He'll be 25 next season. I think he's well on his way. If he continues to be healthy and continues to run like he has been, I think he's going to be a solid piece for somebody. Hopefully hopefully for the Eagles, I think it'll be the Eagles. I think he's earned that at least to stay with the Eagles. I think they still could pick up his 5th-year option, but I think he's earned at least talks about getting his contract, a new contract for him. Number 4, I got Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs did sign a 1-year deal this past offseason. It was like $11 million, something like that.
Yeah.
He'll be 26 next year. Last year, he led the league in rushing, over 1,600 yards, which
he's only 26.
He's
only 26. Wow.
He's 25. He'll be 26 next season.
Wow. Okay.
So some people might look at that and say that was off, or that was a one-off, and it's perhaps possibly. But I think they also had better quarterback play because I'm just not a big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. But I just think he ran the ball pretty well last year, and ended up having 12 touchdowns. This year he's off to a slow start. He only has 235 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's got to pick it up if he wants to really earn people's trust, I guess. For him to be the number 1 guy and to get a substantial contract, but I think he can pick it up. He's only going to be 26 years old coming in the next season. Number 3, I got Derrick Henry. Even though he's going to be up there in age, I think he's like Adrian Peterson to me. Like he's just a guy that, regardless of age, at least until eventually he's going to drop off, but he's still putting up yards. Last year he had 1,500 yards, over 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, this season he's off to a slow start. Again, kind of, sort of. He's still up there in carries though. He's like 5th in the league in carries, so he's on pace to get almost another 300 carry season, which is ridiculous for a guy who's 29 going on 30 next year. He signed 4 years ago. He signed that 4-year, $50 million contract. So that's coming up. But I think he's going to – I think he can – probably won't get – it definitely won't get like a 4-year, $30 million deal. But I think he could probably find something out there with a team that's willing to take a chance on a guy that can still get you 1,000 yards easy. Number 2, I got Eckler, Austin Eckler. The problem is, at least this season, he can't stay healthy. But he only played one game so far, and that was against the Dolphins. He ended up with 117 yards.
That was week 1, right?
Yeah, the first game of the season. I mean, he's not a guy that is going to get you 1,000 rushing yards, but he's a guy that's going to get you 900 receiving yards and like 900 rushing yards, 600 or 700 receiving yards. He had 107 catches last year. I thought he's going to have a really solid season this year. He's getting up there in age as well. He's 28, going on 29, but he signed a 4-year deal worth $24.5 million 4 years ago. I think he can probably get something out there, especially with the Chargers, because I think that's pretty much where he's been the whole time, and I think that really suits him out there. He just has to stay healthy, and he's going to be getting a lot of passes thrown his way, and he's going to be able to get the rock because his backups, Kelly and I can't remember the other guy's name. They're not really anybody out there. So Eckler's definitely up there. And number 1 is Saquon Barkley, just because of the talent. He has a problem staying healthy as well. He signed a franchise tag earlier this season. They're trying to go back and forth with the contract negotiations. According to him, he said he's willing to sit out the whole season. Fortunately, it didn't come to that. But he'll be 27 next year. He had a really great year last year with 1,300 yards, but he was healthy. So far this year, he hasn't been as healthy. He's only played 2 games. Only has 114 total rushing yards. The quarterback is trash, so he's not really taking any pressure off of him to make him help him run. There's nobody's really falling for that play action. So those are my top 5. Like other guys that I wanted to put in there, but I couldn't because only 5 is like Tony Pollard. He'll be 27 next year. Joe Mixon will be 28 next year. Who else? Dalvin Cook, he'll be 29. Cam Akers will be 25. Zach Moss, I think, he's like top 3 in rushing this year. He'll be 26. Yeah. So those guys right there, I think they could also find a contract. There's some solid running backs out there that's going to be available. It's just I'm not sure how much the owners are willing to pay just because of guys like Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb and
Taylor that was a good sign for Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. In terms of they already don't value the running back position as it is, and then you got running backs going out when they could just find Aiken. Is that how you say his last name? Aiken from the Dolphins. You could just go out and draft a guy like
I can't. I think it's Aiken. I think it's
him. You could go out and find a guy like him in the draft, and then you can just reset the whole clock on the contract for the running back position. And then like 2 or 3 years, you could just do the same thing again if you wanted to. If you can find that type of talent in the draft, and you don't have to worry about paying a long-term deal. But I mean, they already don't value the position, so I don't know, man. Some of these guys I think deserve to get paid, but all of them deserve to get paid. But it's just, are the owners going to be willing to actually fork over the money for these guys?
Mm-hmm. So Jonathan Taylor was a good. That was a good signing for them. That was he got 14 million a year. I'm looking at it. It's 3 years. He'll be a free agent when he's 28.
Yeah, that was a good deal for him.
It was a good sign. It was a good sign that some people still value running backs, even though the owner came out and talked all that trash.
I want to see what happens with some of these other big name guys that have gotten contracts in the past, like Henry and Eckler, that are getting up there in age. Barkley's getting up there as well, and he can't stay healthy. So I don't know, man. I think the youngest guy on this list is like 25, and that's Swift. Swift, Dobbins, and Akers, and Dobbins can't stay healthy at all.
Yeah.
So
his average salary is $10.7 million a year. So he's the highest paid running back. It looks like it's Nick Chubb's 12. This is just the average annual salary. Aaron Jones at 12. I know McCaffrey. Where's McCaffrey? I don't know if. Let me see McCaffrey's deal because I want to know when his contract.
I think his contract comes up either not next year, but the year after. I think it's the year after.
29. He'll be 29. His base salary jumps to $11 million and $12 million.
He's still running hard. I think he leads the league in carries.
He's running hard.
He leads the league in carries and yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, yeah.
He's up there.
He's
a great season so far.
He's having a good season and he's probably gonna stay in San Fran. They might re-sign him at 28, maybe to free up some money. But we'll see. You know that when he gets 30, 2026, we're gonna see if he's on that decline. Anyway, all right, guys. We're gonna pick up this one crazy upset from week 6. I don't know why week 5, but it's week 6. So I'm gonna go first. Listen, guys, this is a crazy upset. So you got pick. I'm gonna pick something off the wall every time. I was right 2 times so far of the season, with Jacksonville losing to Houston and the Cardinals beating Dallas. This is a crazy one, and this is an upset. But I didn't see that one. You gotta go big or go home. I'm going Browns over 49ers, man. Browns over 49ers, man. Browns coming off a bye week. It's their defense is good. I'm telling you. I got the Browns as an upset. Mo, who you have upset? Week 6.
Oh boy, this is. I'm scrolling down here and I'm looking. It's 2 I'm looking at. I'm like, either one is kind of crazy off the wall. I know some people might not see it as an upset, but me personally, I see it as an upset, even though both teams are most games over 500. No, I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna go hard to go home, man. I'm gonna say Giants, knowing their season on the line. I'm gonna go Giants over Buffalo.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I know it's crazy.
That is crazy, Mo.
I mean, Sunday night. It's gonna be electric, you know. And I mean, whole game kind of both. I don't know. I mean, sometimes Buffalo has those games where you like they lost a lot of people defensively. Their bodies are dropping defensively. I'm like, let's see.
All right, cool. Craig's the modest one.
Yeah, I'm not going because all the games now. Because I try to stay away from the who you got games, and the rest of them were just like, and then the rest of them were like, the Bills against the Panthers, and you just like, I'm not picking the Panthers to beat the Bills. So stuff like that, I can't do it. So I'm picking the Titans over the Ravens.
Okay,
Ravens are a 4-point favorite. It's not a home game for either team. It's in London, so it's a neutral site basically. I'm feeling the Ravens and their passing game. Their running game is still suspect as well. The Titans sometimes they step up and it looks like the team that won 12 games a few years ago, made to the AFC Championship game when they beat the Bengals and they beat the Chargers. But then you got them when they lose to teams like the Browns and they're scoring 3 points, or the Colts last week. Like, it's just 2 teams. Like I don't know which team is going to show up. But I think for a chance to get back to 500, I think they can go into London early game and beat the Ravens.
Interesting. Craig's the modest one. Craig is the one like, hey, listen, man.
Look, man, it's
All right, now let's get to my favorite segment of the show. Who you got? I love it. Who you got? Craig, we're going to start off with you. Seattle Seahawks versus the Bengals. Who you got?
Coaching, I'm going with Pete Carroll this year.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll has the team playing really, really well. They won 3 in a row, coming off a bye week. Some of those guys a little banged up, especially Geno. He's got him back healthy, I would assume.
Yeah.
I think they need to find a way to get Smith and Jigba involved a little bit more. Excuse me, jeez. And maybe to get the other rookie running back, Carbonar, whatever his name is, him involved with just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine. But I think he's got the team coached up fairly well. I had him at 4th in my NFC rankings so far. Zach Taylor, I think he's just dealing with a lot of injuries, especially at the quarterback position with Joe Burrow. He didn't look injured last week, but he's been dealing with it. So I'm going with Pete Carroll. Offense. I'm going with Seattle. I think if the problem is that the Bengals haven't been consistent enough. They scored 3 points twice. They had a nice second half against the Ravens, and then he just beat up on a Cardinals team who a lot of people don't think is that good, including myself. They didn't have Higgins, so finally Chase was able to get, I don't know how, so all he had to do was double team him, let somebody else beat you, but they let Chase go off for 3 touchdowns. Burrow looked like the MVP, who I thought was going to be the MVP, but I think overall I just got to go with the Seahawks. They've been more consistent. They have 2 really good wide receivers, 3 if you count Smith and Jigba, who hasn't gotten off yet. Geno Smith he's having a solid season. He started out rough with the first game, but he's picked it up lately. They have a solid running game. Kenneth Walker's really good. So I'm going with the Seahawks offense. Defense is kind of tough. I'm gonna just go with the Bengals defense. I think the defense is solid. It's nothing to write home about. When they win, like against the Rams and against the Cardinals, the defense looks amazing. But it's just not consistent enough. The Seahawks defense, it's okay as well. Like I think both defenses, nothing really scares me about either one of these defenses. It's not the Legion of Boom on the other side, and it's not the Bengals from the 80s or nothing like that. They gave up a lot of points against the Rams, first 3 weeks anyway, 30-plus points, and then 30-plus points against the Lions, and then almost 30 points against the Panthers. They played the Giants team, who sucks. But I'm going slightly with the Bengals on defense. In this game, I think this is – last week was a must-win for the Bengals, and I think this one's a must-win as well. I think pretty much any for the rest of the season, it's a must-win for the Bengals, unless they can reel off like 8 in a row or something like that, and then get back to a comfortable record above 500 again. But I got the Bengals winning this game. No defense. 31-27.
All right, Mo, who you got? Seahawks versus Bengals.
All right, so coaching. I know we want to go overall body of work. But even this season, what I'm saying, I'm going to go Pete Carroll. 3-1, off to a good start. Geno got hurt. A lot of things he's dealt with, he's overcome. A lot of people was ready to fire him maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year ago. So I think he's overcome a lot of issues and got kind of things back on track the way he wanted to see it at. Offensively, I'm going to go. I don't know. I still will go Bengals. I think they're going to pick up their traction soon. O-line needs to play better. My truth, honest opinion, I get game plan and it is what it is, but I felt like they forced that ball to chase after his comments. I kind of felt like they coddled him after them comments, but I mean, a lot of people probably sit there and say he was open, but I'm like, what's the difference in the teams you played that week and the teams you played beforehand? Now all of a sudden he had 15 catches. I just feel like all of a sudden out of nowhere you just threw the ball to him, but I felt like they wanted to keep him happy so he wouldn't leave. But I mean, it is what it is. We know it's a business these days. Because I'm like, I don't think no other team did a scheme to where now all of a sudden this team was that bad. He got 15 catches. That just boggled my mind. But so defensively, I'm still going to go just Bengals, just off the fact that they're, you look at what they've done. Their defense has made plays when they need it. Their defense has kept them in games. Their defense is, Super Bowl 2 years ago, then the AFC Championship game last year. So I'm gonna go their defense. With multiple losses in division, I mean, I know this is an out of conference game, but when you already multiple losses out of division, I just feel like they need this. I think Bengals are going to rise up. They know they need to go on a run because they're seeing what's going on in the AFC. So I'm gonna go Bengals in a tough one, 27-20.
All right, guys. I just looked up something. So coaching, I have Pete Carroll. I think he's the better coach of the two. Zach Taylor is a good. You know what? You know how you can tell you're a good coach. What can you do at the quarterback position? Pete Carroll let Russell Wilson go. Geno Smith comes in, they do good. Before Andy Reid had Patrick Mahomes, he revitalized Michael Vick's career. Nick Foles looked good under Andy Reid. I'm just saying, man. So Zach Taylor has Joe Burrow, which you do have to have a quarterback to win in the NFL, but like some coaches are just good coaches. Sean McVay is another one. He's just a good coach. Tom is a good coach. They're just good coaches coach with what they have. That's their job. Mike Tom says it all the time. My job is to coach the players and put them in a position to win. So I just think that's what Pete Carroll is. Offense, I got Seattle, man. I think Geno Smith is playing good. I think that their running game is good. For some reason, it takes some rookie receivers to catch on slower than others, which is it's always interesting to me. How some receivers will just boom, like Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers, how they'll just take off, and then you have and Jigba Smith just like waiting in the wings. But that and then you have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I just think Seattle offense is explosive. Nothing wrong with Jamar Chase is one of the best receivers in the NFL, but they're missing their second best receiver. He's hurt. So that's where I'm at. Defense, I think Seattle played better against the Giants, but Craig, you made a good point. It's the Giants. So with the defense, I'm picking the Bengals. I'm picking the Bengals because I think they have a better defense and they played better offenses than Seattle has. So I'm going to give it to the Bengals. Now, I have Seahawks winning this game. And the reason I have Seahawks winning this game is they are 11-2 after their bye week in the Pete Carroll era. So I had to look it up because I had to figure. I know him, Andy Reid, some coaches after a bye week they're fully prepared, and I think once again the slow start for the Bengals is going to kick them in the butt. It's going to kick them in the butt, and I have Seattle winning 31-20, and then the Bengals will drop to 2-4, and it's going to be questions, man. I don't think in this day and age of the NFL starting out slow is good. It's not like the NBA season and the baseball season where it's like, okay, guys, we can start revving it up after the All-Star break. If you start off slow in the NFL season, you're going to pay for it. You need to win. You have to start off fast. You got to start off fast because you're going to look up and you're going to be like, damn, man, we're 6-4, and everybody else is 8-1 and 9-1, and it's like I don't know. We got to see. All right, Mo. Browns versus 49ers. Who you got?
Well, I mean, coaching. I'm gonna go with of course, I'm gonna go with Kyle Shanahan. Man, he's done the job. I mean, I think a lot of people will go to, man, he got a lot of talent, man. But let's just be honest here, a lot of coaches can't coach a lot of talent. A lot of coaches can't handle the personalities, and to go quickly through a quarterback carousel like this, where you go through a Garoppolo, you draft a quarterback 3rd overall, and then to manage getting rid of him and staying with Purdy, and then manage a dude who was Mr. Irrelevant, who is now what I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw something where he's leading the NFL in QBR and passer rating. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you feel like he has or what's going on around him. That's just ridiculous.
Purdy,
for Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. Irrelevant to lead the league in passer rating and QBR. Like, I don't care what people feel like he has, don't have. Like, that's just ridiculous.
He's a good football player, bro.
So the job that he's done with him, and I think what helps is a lot of people don't realize is he was Mr. Irrelevant, but dude had over 40 starts in college.
Yep.
Like, he had over 40 starts at Iowa State. So it's not like dude was thrown in there and he's a dude that didn't have a lot of starts. He's seen big time moments. I'm not saying the Big 12 is the end all be all, but the Big 12 is still big time football.
Yeah.
So he had over 40 starts heading into this. So it was not like he was coming into this green. So so I'll go Kyle Shanahan. Offensively, I'll still go San Fran. You got Ayuk. You got Ayuk, you got Jennings, you got all the weapons. Kittle just had 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey's having an MVP season. The O-line up front, Trent Williams, even after, 15, 16 years pro, he's still dominant. So I go San Fran. Defensively, I still go San Fran. They took Dallas's this whole heart. You got Bosa, you got Greenlaw, you got the group up front. Back in the secondary, like they just get it done. They play their job. Nobody does too much. To be told, man, unless with Chubb out for the season, unless Watson just comes out and play a game for the ages, I can see this being maybe another blowout, man. I'm gonna go out of respect, I'll go 30-17.
All right, Craig. Who you got?
Coaching. Excuse me. I'm going with Shanahan. Mm-hmm. The job he's done. Obviously, the team is undefeated. They look really, really good out there on both sides of the ball. So I got to go with Shanahan. Offensively, I need to see more out of Deshaun before I can even think about picking the Browns. They also lost Nick Chubb, so that hurts. Jerome Ford looked like he was going to be, I guess, the man, but then the first game he started, he didn't even get enough carries. I think he had 10 carries for like 18 yards. They signed Kareem Hunt, but it's just not enough. I think on the other side, there's just too many. They just have too much. Christian McCaffrey starts with him.
Yeah.
Or he starts with Brock Purdy, actually. Brock Purdy, 9 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, you would just looking at this. I know he's on a team that's stacked, and if you took him off this team and put him on another team, probably won't have the same success. But you got to give him credit, man, for being the last pick in the draft. And
you got to give him credit.
I mean, what he's done out there, he's just so accurate with the football. I mean, you have to just give him credit. Debo. Sometimes it's Debo. Next game it'll be Ayuk, and then sometimes it'll be Kittle.
Yeah.
They can just spread the ball around a little bit and get everybody involved. And might not be your day one game, but it could be your day the next game. It's not like a team like 49 or the Eagles that have the diva wide receivers or the Bengals or anything like that. So they're you got to give them credit there. Defense, I'm going 49ers again. Arguably the best defense. The Browns defense is really good. What they did to the Bengals first game of the season, their defense is really good, but 49ers defense, I mean, it's crazy. So all signs are pointing to the 49ers here. I know it's a road game. Excuse me, it's going to be a tough, arguably their toughest game on the road so far this season. But I'm going with the Niners, man. They scored 30 points a week. The lowest is 30, so I got to go 30. Give me 34-20.
All right, guys, and y'all know who I'm going with, which is it's crazy. So, coaching, I mean, Shanahan is the best in the business right now. One of the best in the business. Andy Reid, of course, Tomlin, but Shanahan's making himself he's making a name for himself. I mean, I'll never forget that he was on the Commanders, and now half of the coaching. It's like 10% or 12% of the NFLs came from that coaching tree and that system. So he's just a genius, man. He's an awesome play caller, good leader. Don't know if you know this. He's a huge Lil Wayne fan, and he named his son Carter after Lil Wayne. That's just neither here nor there. But just want to throw that out there. Offense, got to go 49ers. Y'all guys are right. And it's funny. I was watching First Thing First, and Nick Wright would not admit it. He finally admitted today. I was like, all right, Purdy. He was like, all right, Purdy. He was like, Purdy's a good quarterback. Because he kept calling him a system quarterback, and he was like, all right, Purdy's good. Just admit it that he can play. Brock Purdy can play, guys. He can play. And Mo is correct. It's based on the snaps, and he got a lot of reps in, man. He got a lot of reps, 40 snaps. He knows how to do this, and the players will run through a wall for him. So, and here's a crazy thing: he just had surgery, and they were like, "Oh, he's not going to make it," and now he's like, "I don't know. Did he have surgery? Golly, doesn't look like it." You wouldn't have told me he had surgery in the offseason if I told you. Like, yeah, right. He didn't have elbow surgery. Not playing like this. Defense, I got to go. It's very close. But I'm going to go 49ers. They just have all pros all over the defense. Their defense is physical. They maim you. But with all that said, I'm picking the Browns. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that the Browns defense is going to be able to test the 49ers, and I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game, 23-20 Browns. Boom. I'll start off with this one. I guess this made the list, but now that Anthony Richardson, I think I'm going to skip that off, right? Because, yeah, sorry, Jags and Colts. I mean, because Anthony Richardson is hurt.
It's a revenge game, I guess, for Garner Minshew, but I don't know.
I don't know, man.
It's in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
No, is it?
Yeah, it's in Jacksonville. Colts don't win in Jacksonville. It's in Jacksonville. Colts don't win in Jacksonville, bro. It's in Jacksonville with Garner Minshew starting. I didn't know that Anthony Richardson was hurt. Found out today. So we'll do the Bucs versus the Lions, guys. Because I don't think, you know what I'm saying? It would be different if Anthony Richardson was starting. It would be a good game. Shout out to him, man. He needs to stop taking hits. He's getting hurt. This is the second time he's been hurt this year, man. You know, this is in college, man. You can't be running over people. You got to get out of the bounds. You're going to get hurt. All right, so we're going to do Bucs versus Lions. This is a good one. Coaching. I like both coaches. You know, Todd Bowles is a good coach. I'm shocked that the Bucs are 3-1. They're 3-1. That's crazy. That's good coaching, right? But then the Lions, for the Lions to be where they are, they're in a lot of people's top 10 NFL teams. There are a lot of people. They're in our third best team in the NFC. They're playing great defense. They're a well-oiled machine. Amon St. Brown didn't play. They still put up 42 points. Jameson is coming back. Dan Campbell has those guys biting kneecaps, man, and I'm picking him. But it's Todd Bowles is doing a good job. Yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job. Offense, I gotta go with Lions just because I love the Bucs receivers. I do. I like Mike Evans. I like Chris Godwin. But the Lions offense, Baker Mayfield's okay quarterback, but Jared Goff's a better quarterback. And I mean, they just hung 42 points. They got Josh Reynolds is good. They have Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery running the ball really well. I can't say that on Tampa's side. So I got to lead the Lions offense. Defense, I got to go with – now, this is close. I'm not going to lie because the Bucs got good defense. But I got to go with the Lions, man. The Lions defense is, once again, they shocked me this year. They're stopping the run. I think Aiden Hutchinson has a lot of pressures. So this is gonna be a good game. Surprisingly, we have the Bucs versus the Lions on who you got. This is how the NFL season goes. This is why we love the NFL season. But I have the Lions winning, and I think it's going to be a closer game than people realize. I think it's going to be a really good game. But I have the Lions winning 27-21. Craig, Bucs versus Lions, who you got?
Coaching, I'm going with Campbell. Todd Bowles has done a better job than I thought he was going to do. I thought the Bucs were going to be
Terrible.
Really, not really bad, but like 5 wins, 6 wins in that range. So they've kind of exceeded my expectations. I thought with Baker Mayfield, I thought he's going to be benched eventually for Kyle Trask. And it looks like Baker Mayfield he's been playing phenomenal. I'll say phenomenal. Yeah. He's been playing really, really good, man. Like I got to give him credit. The last couple seasons, he didn't look that good to me, but this season, I think he just found his niche. He's got some really good weapons around him, so he's playing really well. But I'm going with Campbell there. Offensively, I think I'm going Lions. I like the Bucs offense. They got some good wide receivers, 2 good Pro Bowl type wide receivers. They got the running back White. Like I said, Baker Mayfield's playing really well. I just think the Lions have a little bit more on the offense. They definitely have 2 running backs that they can get the ball to if they ever will get the ball to Gibbs. St. Brown, he's the number 1 option. Laporta has been, for tight ends coming into this season, a lot of people were on Kincaid, but Laporta is arguably, if not the best tight end in this, and they were on Myers too from the Raiders. Laporta turns out to be the best tight end so far, at least the best utilized tight end so far.
Yeah.
They've been they have options. They have a lot of options. Williams just came back. They have Reynolds. They have just so many guys that they can get the ball to on this team. And Goff he's playing really well as well. A lot of people might have thought last year was kind of a fluke the way his stats, his numbers, but he's actually kind of backed it up this year. He's not really turning the ball over like that. So that experience that he had going to the Super Bowl with the Rams and everything like that has kind of worked itself up, and now he's got some type of rapport with all his guys there. Montgomery surprisingly has 6 touchdowns. See that coming. The defense, again, is close to me. I'm going with the Lions defense. I think this is. I mean, the Lions defense has really surprised me. Like I think it surprised a lot of people. The only two teams above them in terms of rushing defense are the Eagles and the 49ers. Then it's the Lions. I mean, that's crazy to me considering how bad they were a season ago.
Yes.
They were horrible also against the pass. Right now they're kind of middle of the pack, but I mean, they were just horrible between them and the Vikings. But just the strides that this team has made, the picks, the draft picks, the decisions on defense, the guys that they brought in, everybody just being committed to this team and not wanting to be old Lions, I guess, or like the Lavin stock Lions that they used to be. Like this team seems like it's turning the corner and taking that next step to be a top NFC team for years to come. In this game, I like Tampa Bay, but I think they're at home in this game, which kind of might want me to take them there. They are at home, but I'm going with the Lions. I think this is a statement game for the Lions. They got a chance to beat another team that only has one, beat a team that has one loss on the road. I think they had an easy win last week against the Panthers. I think this is like a show me type game, a prove it type game, and I think they're going to go in there and prove that they can beat some of these teams with these winning records. I think they're going to do it 30-23.
All right, Mo, Bucs versus Lions. Who you got?
Coaching. I'm gonna go Dan Campbell. I just love the job he's done. I love the confidence he's given his team and what he has his team believing in themselves. I truly love it. Offensively, I'm gonna go Detroit. I think getting Jameson Williams back from the young receiver from Alabama. You got the young running back Gibbs. You got Montgomery. St. Brown. You got a good core here. Goff is playing well. He's cutting down the interceptions. He has 9 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions this year so far. Defensively, I'm gonna still go Lions, man. I think Hutchinson's a beast. I think that defense is playing well. I've always said that them having NFL players, former NFL players who played at a high level, is definitely benefiting them. Aaron Glenn is the defense coordinator, who was a great DB in his day with the Jets. It's definitely a benefit. So what I'm gonna say is I agree with Craig. I think the Lions. I agree with y'all. I think the Lions want to make a statement. They want to come out and still prove, and they want to put this division away. This division is basically done. I don't see no other team getting hot in this division, especially with now Jefferson on IR for the next 4 weeks. I just see the Lions going on a run and pretty much put this division away. But I do see Tampa showing some fight, so I'll go shootout. I'll say 34-31 Lions.
I read that some people think it's gonna be. I read that some people think it was gonna be a shootout. I read that. That's very interesting. All right, Craig. Cowboys versus Chargers. Who you got?
Coaching, man. I can't pick Staley. He's made some horrible decisions late in games that could have cost his team the game. Fortunately, they didn't. But man, give me Mike McCarthy. I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's hard because both coaches I think are not that good. I
would go with McCarthy.
I gotta go Mike McCarthy, man.
I would go over Staley.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with it just because if I keep talking, I'm gonna talk myself out of it. I don't know, man. Offense, I'm going with the Chargers. Even though Eckler hasn't been there, I think he should be back, especially now that he had the bye week. They lost Mike Williams, which sucks because he was about to have a really good season. They still have Keenan Allen. They still have the young rookie Quentin Johnson, who they really haven't got involved. A lot of these young rookies, except for like Flowers and Addison haven't really gotten involved for the most part that I can think of. But I'm hoping that they can get him involved. They have Palmer out there. He's the number 2 now. Obviously Justin Herbert, he's a monster.
Yeah.
The offensive line looks solid. You look at the other side, I know they played the 49ers last week but man, 3 interceptions is 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott doesn't look like he deserves a contract extension at this point. Even going back to last season, obviously he was horrible last season, and he just kind of the offense has been mediocre. He's had 4 touchdowns to 1 interception coming into the game on Monday night or Sunday night. He ended up with 3 interceptions in that game, like 5 touchdowns. He's basically got a touchdown a game.
Yeah,
it's just not acceptable for a team with CeeDee Lamb. You went out and you got Brandon Cooks. You have Michael Gallup. You have Tony Pollard. Like, you have guys on that team. You have offensive line that's supposed to be one of the best in the league.
Yeah,
I know they had 3 guys missing in that loss to the Cardinals, but still, I'm just not seeing it. So I got to go Chargers. Defense. I think I'm gonna go Cowboys, but I can't because of that 42. I know they played the 49ers, but I can't because of that 42-point beat down that they just gave up.
Crazy.
It's like if the Cowboys defense does not give the offense a short field or get a pick 6 or a scoop and score on a fumble, or the special teams doesn't step up or something like that, it's just like that they're just like a regular team. They're not the Cowboys. They're just some middle of the road team. And man, give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers defense. I can't take the Cowboys defense right now. I really wanted to take them, but I just can't in good faith, I guess, because they should be a lot better. And I know they had some easy wins against the Patriots and things like that, and the Giants. And I get all that, but I mean, it's the Patriots and it's the Giants. I want to see what they do when they play against a really good team that's good on offense, like the 49ers, like the Chargers.
Yeah.
Then I'll see exactly what this defense is made of going forward. But games in San Diego, games in LA.
Yeah.
I think it's Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Bright lights. Coming off the bye week, man, and it's an extra day too. Give me the Chargers, man.
What?
Yeah, give me the Chargers. Extra day off the bye week. Eckler should be back. I'm hoping Quentin Johnson can score a touchdown in this one, man. I'm just not believing in the Cowboys right now. They got a couple games coming up. 34-29.
Mo, Cowboys versus Chargers. Who you got?
Coaching, man, it'd be so hard not to go to push here because neither one I like. But I'm gonna go McCartney, just off of what he's done in Dallas. I mean, still, double-digit wins multiple years. Staley's been terrible like that. I thought that franchise would be farther along than what it would be right now, especially with the weapons drafted and the weapons brought in. But it's been bad decisions, bad 4th down calls, bad clock management. It's just been terrible. I'm surprised he's still there, to be honest with you.
He's the new Mike McCarthy, the clock manager.
Yeah, but offensively, boy. Offensively, I'm gonna go Cowboys. I'm gonna go Cowboys. It's more the consistency for me than the stars. I'm gonna see Austin Eckler come back healthy, but if you look at it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tony Pollard is top 5 in yards and attempts. They definitely need to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. They need to find a way to get Cooks going. Gallup, if Gallup is healthy, they need to get him going. They need to find other ways to get Deuce Vaughn in the screen game. Defensively, I mean, I'm still gonna go Dallas. I mean, off that one game, I know Arizona got them too, but I just feel like if you're gonna compare the two defenses and like who I would pick to get a stop if I had money on the line, I go Dallas. I mean, I like Chargers defense. It has underperformed, but I would pick Dallas with money on the line. Both teams need this game, to be honest with you, but I think from a heart check standpoint, from a gut check standpoint, after the comments made and after I understand that San Fran, but after how you got whipped like that and dominate, totally out physical, outplayed like that, I understand Chargers coming off a bye week, but I trust McCartney more than Staley. So I'm going to go Dallas in a close one again, with Staley and them losing a close one again. I'm going to go Dallas 34-27.
All right. So, coaching. You're both right. I cannot commit to Brandon Staley. I refuse to. Every coach that he plays against, if they're on who you got, I'm picking the opposite coach. I'm just going to be honest with you. 2. Mike McCarthy does have time clock management issues, but Brandon Staley has won a playoff game. Mike McCarthy has won a couple of playoff games. I just kind of trust Mike McCarthy more to coach. I do. And I don't know if Brandon Staley is going to – I don't know if he's going to be there, man. I don't know. And they're coming off a bye week, so we'll see. We'll see how it is, because some teams come off flat in the bye week and some teams come off prepared. We'll see what type of coach he is. Offense. This is very interesting because both offenses are good. Austin Eckler is going to be back, which they need. Then you have Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, and who is the other receiver? I'm going to tell you.
Jordan Palmer.
Jordan Palmer. There we go. Yep. So we got Jordan Palmer, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson. I think they're pretty good in that department. And then you have Justin Herbert. And then Dallas has Tony Pollard, Brandon Cooks, and CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, Craig. I'm with you. I don't know why the offense isn't. But you and Mo said it. I don't know why Dallas offense isn't better. Because it's kind of very interesting to me why it's not better. So it's like, is it really better? Is it not? You know, I don't know. And I did see that today. If Dallas doesn't have a short field or a turnover by the defense, their offense looks inept. So I got to go with the Chargers offense. I have to. Defense, Chargers has one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I know Dallas had a bad outing against San Francisco, but I'm going to go with Dallas. I'm like Mo, man. They might be able to get me a stop or a sack. I just don't believe, just because of that game, the Chargers played well. I do not think Brandon Staley is a good coach. And coming off a bye is very vital because, once again, I said some coaches have their teams prepared and some don't. So, let's look at Brandon Staley's bye week record. I want to know what that is. So he's 2-2 at a bye week. So that's not, we don't know yet. We'll see. He has a chance to get better at that, but I don't believe he will. I don't think he's a good coach. I think the Cowboys don't lose back to back. I think San Francisco is just that much better, and I think the Cowboys beat the Chargers at home, and they're going to come out looking flat, and we're going to come on here and we're going to say, fire Brandon Staley. That's exactly what's going to happen. And the Cowboys are going to win 31-23.
Man, listen, they lucky to be 2-2. I just looked at it. They giving up. Listen, they giving up 433 yards a game.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And
I
you
just
2-2.
looked at their defense. I was like,
ridiculous.
their defense is the Chargers. It's the Chargers are like the 31st, and it is Denver the 32nd.
Yeah. Well, they just ripped Denver alive. They just ripped Denver alive and get up. They was like, dude, they was like, hold up. They was like, you want to blame Hackett for everything and everything else. They was like, dude, I think they said Denver's defense is giving up the second most points all time in NFL history through 5 games.
Yes.
I was like, that's
He talked.
it ain't like they ain't faced not one juggernaut.
He talked.
Like, let's be honest here. Offensively, they have not faced not one team where you really sat there and said it was an offensive juggernaut.
And he talked all that trash, and he looks like he's not doing a good coaching job. He doesn't. It doesn't look like he's coaching.
They haven't faced not one team where you really sat there going into the game and like that's an offensive juggernaut.
The Broncos?
They played us.
They played the Dolphins.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's 70 points. Okay, outside of that, but still, they gave what 35 up to us.
Yeah.
They gave what? They just gave up 33 or 31 to the Jets.
Yeah. The Bears.
I think the Bears put up 30 on them. I think the Bears
31.
put up 30 on them too, as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So outside of the Dolphins, who did they really face as like an offensive juggernaut? You sit there and be like, "Oh, this is offensive power here."
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna see what the Chiefs do with them. I'm gonna see, man.
I might not even watch that game. I might just have it on in the background. That game's gonna be. I mean, it's like the game last night. I didn't really watch it because it was just a game I just didn't want to watch. That was a regular Sunday night or Sunday at 4:00 game.
Yeah,
It was not a Monday night game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
For me, I just couldn't watch it.
Yeah, it was. Who's on Monday night? It was the
Raiders and Packers.
Raiders and Packers. Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't interesting.
Yeah, they were just on first take talking about how he threw 3 picks, but then they was they were saying like, look, man, he got a young team. I mean, there's no excuse for him, but he still got a young team. It's not like he around veterans. He's still trying his hand. It was like, really, this is rookie year. Essentially, he's a rookie.
Who, Jordan?
Yeah, Love. He said 3 years behind Rodgers. This is his first start.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see what they have. We all know the NFL is the word of Shannon Sharp. You gotta update your resume quickly in the NFL. You're not gonna have a job.
Yeah, you ain't
You got to update it. NFL, NBA, you got to update your resume quickly, or you're gonna not be on the team. Well, all right, guys. We're gonna see y'all next week. Same time, same bat channel. All right, everybody. We are out of here, man. Peace.